This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, just to give you a recap, guys, what we did yesterday. These are the steps we performed yesterday. Point number one is install .NET Framework 3.5 on database server. Then we install WADK on SCCM PS, and we install all the roles and features, whatever needed to make a server as a primary site server. These are the three things which we did yesterday. Now today, we are going to perform these tasks and we'll get our servers ready. So install SQL Server. We need to install the SQL Server on the database server because that's a prerequisite. Without SQL Server, you will not be able to install SCCM because SCCM needs a SQL Server database to store data, and that has to be installed first. The second point is create system management container. I'll let you know why we need to have system management container in Active Directory, and we need to grant SCCM server full permission on that container. We need to extend the schema of Active Directory. SCCM server needs to have full local admin rights on database server. We need to install the WSUS, take the snapshot, and then install primary site. I'm not sure whether we will be able to perform all these tasks, but we have to perform at least 50% or 60% of all the tasks here. So first of all, we have to do the installation of SQL Server database. So to do that, I'll you there, Amit?
Yes.
I'll make you. Have you logged into all the servers?
Yeah, everything is okay. Everything
Okay.
is okay. Yeah.
Which one, Amit Jha, the small one or the capital one?
No, the small one.
Okay. Mm, So I'm gonna make you presenter.
Okay.
This is a different laptop, right?
Yeah, it's a different one.
Okay, very good. This is Windows 10.
So now here everything is working today.
So
And
everything is connected.
yeah.
Have you created your? Have you joined all the computers to the domain?
Yes. So can you take the command and you can just do by yourself? So it's fast and better, I think.
Okay, let me myself as a presenter. Okay, guys. So what we have done is we created 4 virtual machines, 3 servers, and 1 client computer. So the first server is domain controller, the second server is database, the third server is SCCM PS1 primary site. Now, and the last one is Windows 10, fourth one. We'll go to domain controller. So this is the DC server wherein we will see the Active Directory user and computers. I hope everyone is aware of this. This is nothing but a database which contains your user, computer, security groups, policy, domain, forest related details. And this does the authentication of user and computers, you know. So we'll see whether the computers are joined to the domain or not. So in computer, we see one is DB, one is SCCM PS1. And I don't see Windows 10. You have not joined Windows 10 to domain yet. Amit,
Yes. Okay.
you also need to join Windows 10. Okay.
Okay.
Now, so to um, first of all, we need to make sure the computers are pingable to each other. Okay. Okay, so it's not pingable. That means, what is that? Windows 10 or client 1? I don't know what name you have kept, DB.
Let us say Windows 10.
Okay. Win 10, right?
Yeah,
Okay, so that is not yet joined to the domain. That's the reason. Let's join Windows 10 to the domain too. So to join Windows 10, we need to go to right click on this PC and then properties and then change setting
group
and
change.
change
Okay,
and
domain.
domain and type in lab.com.
Yes.
Dilip, you
It's not.
there? Put in your username and password, please. Not sure what happened with Dilip. Dilip actually wanted to know about group policy, how we define group policy in SCCM. Uh, before installation of SCCM, whether we can create a group policy for firewall settings so that computers, the servers can talk to each other, all the firewalls, whatever needed for communication between servers and clients. So fine, no worries. So what we have to do, you see, computers are not able to ping to each other. That means certain ports are blocked because firewall is on. You see, firewall is on all the computers at the moment. That's the reason the ports are blocked. So SCC to for SCCM to communicate with the servers, we need some ports to enable on the client computer and certain ports on the server, SCCM server, domain server, database server. So there are certain ports which we have to enable. Then only it will be able to make the communication. So let's create, either you turn off the whole firewall from here, you turn off all of them in all the computers one by one, or you create a certain policy and deploy that policy that will be applicable on all the computers. So we are going to use the policy rather than manually disabling the firewall in each computer. So to create policy, you have to go to tools in domain computer. I am on domain computer DC and we'll go to group policy management. This one. Okay. So group policy is the one which helps you to create a policy on certain set of computers or on all the computers in the domain. So currently I have 4 computers and all are joined to lab.com. Lab.com is the domain name and all of them are a member of this domain. So if you see Active Directory user and computer, you should be able to see all your. So there are 3 computers, DB, SCCM, Windows, plus there is one more computer in domain controller. So there are 4 computers in total. So we'll create one policy so that all those 4 computers will have those firewall policy. So right click on lab.com and create a GPO in this domain and link it here. SCCM firewall policy. So whatever the ports are required for SCCM, I'm gonna create those policies here. Now, once this policy is created, you need to right click on that and edit. Now, this is a blank policy. We have not created anything. Now, we'll go to computer policies and then Windows settings. And inside Windows settings, we are gonna choose security setting. Inside security setting, we are going to Windows firewall and firewall. There are some inbound and outbound rule we are going to create, and that will be applicable on all the computers. So right click and new rule. So the first rule is we'll choose predefined, and we are going to choose file and printer sharing. That means in all the computers, the port which uses to share files and printer is the helper one, that's fine. So at least we need the port which helps you to share the file, copy the file from one computer to another computer. This port, this predefined port setting has to be enabled. So I'm gonna choose next. So these are the related things which are going to be applied here. So that is, you have local port like 5355, any TCP, so that you can ping the computer 138, 137, 445, 139. So these are the ports which will be applied, which will be enabled. So I'm gonna choose next, allow the connection, finish. So these ports are enabled in this policy. Second thing is I'm going to choose predefined and WMI. What is WMI? That's Windows Management Instrumentation. This port has to be enabled so that SCCM can access the computer using WMI query. WMI is basically a query language which helps SCCM to gather all the computer data, whether computer is Windows 7, Windows Server, the hardware inventory of the data of the computer, the software inventory, everything is done through WMI query command language. So we need to enable that one so that SCCM can gather those data. Next, and there are some ports here. Okay, 135 local port TCP. So we'll choose next, allow the connection, finish. So far clear, guys?
Yes, Kasif.
Okay. Okay, guys. So the next thing is we need to go to outbound. So the computer will also enable the outbound port. So new rule and predefined and file and printer sharing. So incoming file and printer sharing and outgoing both. So it can also bring the file and also send the file. So incoming and outgoing file port we are opening up. Next, allow the connection, finish. Are you guys following? So we created two inbound rules. So the computer will enable these inbound ports and one outbound rule, that is file and printer sharing. It will be able to upload the file to servers. So I'm gonna refresh and right click again and edit just to see if the policies are created properly or not. So I closed and opening again. Okay. Inbound and outbound. Okay. Now we also need to create we also need to enable ports on database server. Okay. So that database can take the communication from SCCM. The transaction can happen between SCCM and the database server. So to do that, we will go to inbound rule, new rule, and this time I'm going to choose port. Next, we need two ports to be enabled on database. Port number 1433. Next, allow the connection, domain private public. Next, SQL port 1433. So on database, we want this port to be enabled so that database can take the transactions script and it will perform the task. The second inbound rule on database is 4022. Port number 40. These are the two ports required on database. 4022. Allow the connection. Next, domain private public. Next, it's gonna be 4022 and finish. So port 4022 and SQL port 1433. These ports needed to be we need these two ports enabled on the database server. Okay. Now once you do that, what will now happen? The moment this policy reaches to all the computers, you will be able to ping the computer as well, and whatever necessary for SCCM communication, everything will be all set. So I'm gonna do GP update, group policy update and force. That means the computer should talk to the group policy server and bring the new policies. So I just did group policy GP update on this domain computer. Let me just go to database. On database, I'm gonna put GP update force. It's not required that we have to do GP update. If we wait for like some time, automatically it will update the policy. Or if you restart the computer, the policy will be applied on the computers itself. Now I am on SCCM. GP update force, but looks like you're logged in with local account, not the domain account. Have you created two users, Amit?
Already created 3 users.
Okay.
User one. Yeah.
You see, you are logged in with local account. We don't
Uh-huh.
want local account, so let's
Okay.
log off because that's not going to help us. And log off from the database computer too, because looks like you are logged in with local account here too. So who am I? When you do who am I, it shows you DB. DB is the server name. We don't want login with the server name. You want lab slash username. So sign out. Now login back with on database. You log in with lab slash SQL admin, and on SCCM log in with lab slash SCCM admin. Yes. Yeah. Can you log in? Okay. Looks like you created the account and user must change the password at first login. So CCM admin, member of account, SQL admin. Yes. So user must change password at first login was enabled. I just disable that. Apply OK. Now go back and log in again. Yes. Minimize this and log into SCCM with SCCM admin account.
Kasif, I need to log in the Windows 10 also.
Yeah, you may log in. lab/user1, lab
Oh,
slash
sorry. Yeah,
user1.
yeah. Okay.
Always put the domain name,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
after joining it to the domain.
Oh, the same issues here also.
Yeah. No worries. You may log in to this later on.
Later. Okay. So it's all
So
working.
now let's go back to database and we will see whether the new policy, the firewall policy is applied or not. So to find out whether policy is applied, we can go to run, type in firewall.cpl, firewall.cpl. You see, for your security, some settings are managed by your system administrator. So that looks like the policy is applied. And we can also find out in advanced setting the inbound rule and outbound rule. So inbound, you see SQL port 14334022, whatever the policy we define, all those file and printer sharing, right? That got applied here. In outbound, the file and printer sharing is applied. Clear, guys? So one policy we created and that is applied on the computers. Are you guys following?
Yes.
So now let's go to SCCM machine and see whether the policy is applied on SCCM machine or not. So to verify the policy, we can go to firewall.cpl. So it looks like the policy is applied here too, advanced setting and inbound rule. Okay. So policy is applied on SCCM server 2. So now the computer will be able to ping to each other, and we can access the computer from one another. So CMD ping DC, there you go, ping DV. Okay, previously it was not able to ping, right? You can also access the computer like // DC /C dollar. So we can access the C drive of another computer from here, right? So from each one another, the computer can access the C drive of another computer remotely. So that's the benefit of these firewall policies, guys. And you don't have to manually create the policy in each server. That's the reason we created a group policy, and that applied to all the computers successfully. Now, let's go ahead and install SQL Server on database. So this is database computer, and first of all, we just type in command prompt as host name to verify the server name. The server name is DB database. So this is fine. The second thing is we will do who am I. Who am I shows you the account, which account you are logged in with at the moment. So you are logged in with lab/SQL admin. So that means you're logged in with the domain account. So these are the two things which we wanted to check, and that looks okay. If you are logged in with to another computer and to with another account, you have to make sure you um, log in with the correct account to the correct server. Now we already downloaded a SQL server setup somewhere in the download folder. Where did we download it? In C drive? Yeah, in download folder. I know where it is downloaded. Wait. So it is downloaded in the download folder of Amit account. So C user and Amit and download. So it's downloaded here, guys, because it was downloaded before when we were logged in with Amit's account. So this is the SQL Server 2014 ISO file, the disk 2014 disk. Okay. So we have to right click on this and mount it. That means we are putting the disk inside this computer, just like a computer, a laptop or desktop where you put the disk, the physical disk inside the computer. Similarly, mount it. The moment you mount it, what will happen? It will come like this. It mounted on E drive. I'm going to right click on that and open. So these files will get opened. You just need to click on setup and say yes. Now click on installation at the left hand side. So this wizard which will help you to do the installation step by step. Now new SQL Server standalone installation. Okay, so we don't have license, so we will go with the evaluation one. Next. Accept the license terms. Next. We don't need to check this box, otherwise it will download the updates. So Next. Okay, so everything is passed except the warning message for Windows Firewall. We have already created the firewall policy, port 1433 and 4022. So we don't have to worry about it. We can click on this warning message. It will take you to the website. It will tell you the ports are needed, 1433 and 14022, which we have already done. So we can ignore this warning message. Next. Install SQL Server feature installation. Next. And we need to choose database engine service. This feature will help you to create database. The second thing is reporting services native. That means we'll be able to create reports inside database. So report server, this will help you to create your report server. And the last thing is management tool complete. So this one is the tool which helps you to access the database. So these are the three things which are required for SCCM installation. There are multiple other options as well, but we don't need them. So next. Now we will go with the default instance name of the server, database server. So MS SQL server. In case if you would like to go with the named instance, you can type in your named instance to connect to the database. I'll go with the default instance. Next. Now these are the services which will get created on this server. So Microsoft recommends that you use a separate account. So we should not use the local account. We will be using a domain account to manage these services, right? To manage these services, we are going to use a domain account. So domain account, we already created lab/SQL, right? I'm going to copy this and go back to database. So the username is lab/username, and this is the password, right? So this the first one is the username. I'm going to copy this and delete it and paste. Similarly, I'm going to paste here. So these are the user ID. Now the password, these are the passwords. I mean, this password is for this username. Now these services, when will be created, these services should be in automatic mode, so that after you restart the server, or somebody is restarting the server for some maintenance task or something, These services will get restarted automatically. You don't have to manually restart them. Okay, so that's the reason we are putting automatic to all the services. Second thing is collation. Collation is nothing but the language, how the um, in which language the transaction will happen between SCCM and SQL database. So give me a minute, please. Now, the only language which SCCM supports is this one, SQL underscore Latin 1 underscore general underscore CP1 underscore CI underscore AS. So if you install SQL database in a different language, then SCCM will not support that. It will not be able to talk to SQL database because this is the only language which SCCM supports. SQL underscore. Okay, so you give me a minute. My laptop battery is draining out. Okay, it's gone. So SQL underscore Latin 1 underscore general underscore CP 1 underscore CI underscore AS. This is the only language. In case if it is not this, if the language is different here, you can click on customize and choose the correct language from the list. So next, now who is going to be the administrator of your SQL server? So the administrator of your SQL server is going to be add current user. So SQL admin plus SCCM admin, add and SCCM admin. These two users will have full permission on the database. SQL admin plus SCCM admin. So next, install and configure. Next, and install. That's how you install database SQL server, guys, for SCCM. Any confusion? Anyone?
No, Kasif.
Now the SQL server installation is started. It is gonna take like 15 minutes from now for the installation to finish. Now in the meantime, we will perform other task. And the task is we need to create a system management container in Active Directory. I'll let you know why we need to create a container. Before that, we will download SCCM server setup. So we need to download SCCM server setup. So I'll give you one link. You guys can also make a note of it, everyone. Copy and okay. So Amit, can you copy this link which I just sent on the chat window. Everyone, you may copy it for your future reference. Have you copied? Just click on that link, please. Click on that link. That's it. Now don't worry about it. Let me take the mouse. Okay. So after you, this is the link which I just sent that to you guys. We need to go to SCCM server because this is the SCCM setup. So I'm gonna go to SCCM server and paste the link here and download. Download anyway. Okay, no worries. So we'll have to go to settings and go to internet options. It's not letting us download, guys, so we'll have to customize it. Security setting, internet, custom level, and yeah. So download file download is disabled. I just have to enable that task. That's it. Yes, and click OK and download anyway. Save. So it's downloading the SCCM setup file, SCCM 1606. And it downloaded. So it got downloaded on the download folder. This is the file which got downloaded just now. Now we'll create one folder here called SCCM 1606 setup files. Okay, anything of your choice, and copy the path. This is the location for this folder. Now let's go back to this, the one which we downloaded, and extract this. Currently this is in zipped format. We need to extract it. So run as administrator and click yes. And you see it is extracting here, unzip here, but we don't want. So let's make it blank and put the new path. This is the path. In the download folder, we have SCCM 1606 setup folder, and click on unzip. So it's gonna unzip, dump all the files in this folder which we just created. So it's copying all the files in this folder. Now let's go ahead and create the system management container in Active Directory. So in Active Directory, why we need a container in Active Directory? So basically, currently you have one domain controller, right? Now in domain controller, you have one component called Active Directory, right? So let's say this is your Active Directory. In Active Directory, there are n number of things. like your user related information, you have system related information, you have groups related information, uh, policies related information, um, domain related details, right? Forest related details. So n number of things are available in Active Directory. Now, there is no such thing in Active Directory which has SCCM related stuff, right? So currently, whatever the computers you have, let's say you have thousands and thousands of computers, right? Let's say these are computers. They all have read access to Active Directory, right? All the computer actually reads the data from Active Directory. Then only it will be able to understand the domain, DNS, you know, computer, everything. Now, currently in Active Directory, there is no such uh, SCCM related stuff is not present. So what we will do is we'll create one container in Active Directory. So let's say this is the container, okay? And this container name will be system management. System management container. So in this container, all SCCM related details will be present. So how the details will get populated here? So basically your SCCM server will keep on dumping SCCM related details in here. So you have your SCCM server and that will keep on publishing SCCM related details in this container. So if somebody wants to write any data on this container, that guy needs full permission, right? So SCCM server needs to have read and write access on this container. Then only SCCM can publish its management point, distribution point, fallback status point, all those roles and site server details on this container. The moment those details are available, all the systems, domain joined computers can take those details from this container and they will be able to automatically retrieve SCCM related stuff from this container. Are you following, guys, everyone?
Yes, Kaushik.
So this is basically to publish SCCM data in Active Directory so that all the domain joined computers can read this um, container and understand about the SCCM management point, distribution point, fallback status point, all the site and site roles details. So you don't have to manually manually inform these computers that the management point of distribution, management point of SCCM server there is this one, or the distribution point of the server is that one. You don't have to manually do that. Automatically, all the things will be retrieved from this container. So that is the main role of system management container. Now, the second thing is, so system management container will be created and then SCCM server will have full permission on this container so that it can dump the data here. Now, the second thing is we need to extend the schema of Active Directory. Anyone knows about a schema? Hmm? No one?
No.
Okay. So you have Active Directory. Inside Active Directory, you have schemas. Schema is nothing but like a table in database. So in Active Directory, you have multiple schema. One is like user schema. Second is like system schema, a domain schema, a group in schema. So each schema contains classes and attributes. Got it? So for example, I'm just giving you one example like user. User is what? That is class. And the attribute of user is what? Username, first name, last name, email address, manager's name, office location, phone number, right? Um, Title. So these are the attributes of user. Similarly, currently when you installed Active Directory, this has the default schema. Default schema. It does not have the SCCM related class and attribute. So we have not added any schema here which contains SCCM class and attribute like SCCM server, SCCM server management point, name, uh, server site boundary. There are n number of class and attribute and SCCM which are stored in Active Directory. So what we are going to do is we are going to extend the Active Directory schema and we'll add SCCM related class and attribute. So this is only for SCCM. So the moment we extend the schema of Active Directory, because we added manually customize the Active Directory schema, right? So we call it extended AD schema. So we have extended the Active Directory schema. So that's what we have to do. We have to extend the Active Directory schema so that it can also add SCCM related class and attributes. So let's go ahead on the domain controller and we'll have to, I was on the domain controller. Now I have to create one container in Active Directory. So I'm gonna go to server manager, and in server manager we'll have to go to tools and ADSI edit. This is Active Directory services interface, guys, which helps you to add the container in Active Directory. There are a number of things you can perform using this tool, but basically we have to extend the scheme. We have to add one container, that is system management. So to do that, I'm gonna right click on this and click on connect to, and just click on OK. So the default naming context, I'm gonna expand this, then click on this and expand. And the container we have to create under cn equals system. This is the location we have to create the container. So right click on this, new, and choose object and choose container. Next, and type in the value of this container. The name of this container is going to be S capital SYSTEM and M space M capital MANAGEMENT. This is case sensitive, guys. You have to make sure the spelling is correct. System management. Next, and finish. The container is ready. You see CN equals system management. I'll just close this and go back to tools again and choose Active Directory, user and computer. Now this one will show you the container because we created the container under system, right? So it will have the container here under system and system management. There you go, system management. So this container will be utilized by SCCM server. So SCCM server will keep on dumping its management point, distribution point, site server roles, everything in this container. So to do that, SCCM needs full control so that it can read, it can have read write permission. So to grant read write permission to SCCM server, I need to right click on this and delegate control. Next, add and choose the server name. So I'm gonna click on object type and choose computers, and the server name is going to be SCCM-PS. SCCM-PS1 is the server name of SCCM, right? The primary site server name is SCCM-PS1. This server will keep on dumping the details on that container, so it needs full permission. So click OK. This is the server name. Next. Now create a custom task to delegate. Next. So the permission will be on this folder, existing object inside this folder, and when the new folders are created, it will have permission on the newly created folders too. Next, what kind of permission it will have? It will have full control. So full control we have to choose. Next, next, that's it. Now the first thing is done. Container. Now schema of Active Directory. Now to extend the schema of Active Directory, we need to copy one file. So let's go to SCCM server where we have downloaded this SC config manager 1606 and extracted them. Yeah, so it got extracted successfully. I just click on close. So we have extracted the files into this folder. So inside this folder there is one file called inside this SMS setup, we have to go to bin, inside bin x64, and then there is one file called extaddsch, extend Active Directory schema. This is the file which helps you to extend the Active Directory schema. So I'm going to right click on this file and copy this and take this to the domain controller. So I just copied it and I'm going to DC server on domain controller. I just paste it on the desktop. So right click and paste it. Now this is the file which helps me to extend the Active Directory schema. So double click on that and we will see what happened. To verify what exactly happened after you double clicked on this, you go to C drive and this is the log which gets created, extaddsch, and this tells you the number of classes and attributes it has extended. So it has added these many attributes, guys, in Active Directory, plus these many classes. So these are the classes and attributes got added in a Active Directory, and later on it says successfully extended the Active Directory schema. Clear, guys? Everyone?
Yes.
Okay. So we installed SQL Server. We created, let me just type in create create firewall group policy. Extended server needs to have. Okay. So I think I'm done with the session now. So let's close. Let's go back to the domain controller. I mean the database to see whether the SQL Server installation is done or not. Yes, SQL Server installation completed. So close it. Close, close, and close. Don't save. Let me just share my screen and I'll give you a quick overview what we have done, and then we will wrap it up. You guys can see my screen, everyone? You guys can see my screen? No one?
Yes, Kaustubh. Now we can see
Okay,
yours.
so
Yeah.
what we have done. Point number 10, install SQL Server on database server. This is done, right? The second thing is create firewall policy. Basically, it has to be first, because before you install SQL Server, we created firewall policy. So we created firewall policy. Sorry guys, the numbers are different. 11, 13, 14, and 15. Okay, so create firewall policy, done. Install SQL Server on database server, done. Create system management container in Active Directory. This is also done. Grant SCCM server full permission on system management container. That's done too. Extend Active Directory schema. So these are the things which we have done. Let me just copy and create, and in this is going to be day 5. Tomorrow when we meet, we'll perform these tasks. So day 4. So these are the things which we have done today. Are you guys clear, everyone?
Yes, Kaustubh. So it will be on tomorrow again. Weekend days. It's continuous 24 days.
No, not 24 days. It is Monday to Friday, Tuesday to Saturday, because it will
Okay.
be Monday to Friday for US people,
Okay.
because it is Thursday evening for them, right?
Right.
Ben, Amit,
Yes. Yes. Correct.
yeah, Mohan, offline, Jagdish, Ben. Okay. Um, so I want everyone to come to the same speed and make sure you guys have created your Azure account and you guys are on the same page where uh, where Amit is. Currently, we have performed all the tasks on Amit's computer. Okay, Ben, Jagdish, clear? I can't hear you guys. Not sure.
Yes, Kaustubh. Yeah, yes, Kaustubh. It's clear now.
Ben, you there? Okay, guys. So let's meet tomorrow, same time. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.